Have you ever felt so obsessed with getting something perfect that you end up making more mistakes? It's a frustrating cycle, isn't it? Well, today I want to share a story about a talented potter who learned a powerful lesson about letting go of perfection. It's a story that might just change the way you approach your own passions and goals. In a quiet, peaceful village, there lived a potter named Mira. Her work was the talk of the town. Everyone admired the beauty and precision of her pots, vases, and bowls. But lately, something had shifted for Mira. Despite all the praise, a cloud of anxiety followed her into the studio. Every single compliment she received just added to the pressure for her next piece to be even better. Whenever she sat at her potter's wheel, her mind would race. She wasn't thinking about the clay in her hands. She was consumed by the desire to create the perfect pot. She'd picture it in her head, the exact shape, the flawless texture, the shimmering glaze. She fixated on this imaginary, perfect final product. But the more she chased this vision of perfection, the more her hands seemed to betray her. They would tremble, twist slightly, causing the clay to wobble and lose its center. Frustration would bubble up, hot and overwhelming. She started to blame herself, feeling like a failure for not being able to bring the perfect image in her mind to life. One evening, feeling completely disheartened, Mira wandered down to the riverbank. She sat alone, listening to the gentle sounds of the water and the soft breeze rustling through the leaves. As she stared into the twilight, an elderly woman named Grace appeared, walking with a calm, steady pace. Grace was the village's master weaver, a woman whose hands seemed to dance with the threads, creating beautiful tapestries without a hint of stress. Grace could see the trouble in Mira's eyes. She sat down beside her and asked in a gentle voice, "What troubles you, Mira? You look as though you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders." Mira let out a long, heavy sigh. "Oh, Grace, I just want my pottery to be perfect. But the harder I try, the more I focus on how it should turn out, the more I fail. I'm starting to think I'm not even a good potter anymore. Maybe I've lost it." Grace listened, a kind and knowing smile gracing her lips. "Let me tell you something I learned a long time ago," she began. "When I was a young woman, much like you, I was obsessed with weaving flawless tapestries. I believed every single thread had to be perfectly aligned, every pattern precise and without a single error. But no matter how hard I tried, how meticulously I worked, there was always some little imperfection. A stray thread, a slightly uneven line, something." Mira leaned in, her curiosity piqued. "So, what did you do? How did you fix it?" "Ah, that's the thing," Grace replied, her eyes twinkling. "I didn't fix it. I stopped focusing on the end result altogether. Instead, I began to pay attention to the act of weaving itself. I started to truly feel the threads between my fingers, to enjoy the steady rhythm of my hands moving back and forth, to appreciate the way each moment, each pass of the shuttle, brought something new and unexpected. And you know what happened? The tapestries began to weave themselves. The beauty wasn't coming from my desperate desire for perfection, but from my love for the craft, for the process." Mira was quiet for a moment, letting Grace's words sink in. It was like a window had been opened in a stuffy room. The weight on her chest started to feel a little lighter. "So, you're saying I should focus on the process, not the outcome?" "Exactly," Grace confirmed with a nod. "When you focus so much on the result, you rob yourself of the joy of creating. You're living in the future, worrying about something that doesn't even exist yet. Let go of the need for perfection. Trust your hands. Trust the clay. Allow each part you make to be a simple, honest reflection of the moment you're in. If you fall in love with the process again, the beautiful results will follow naturally, without you even having to force them." The next morning, Mira walked into her workshop with a completely new mindset. She took a deep breath, smelling the familiar earthy scent of the clay. She sat at her wheel, but this time, she didn't try to picture the perfect pot. She just centered the clay and began. She let her hands move freely, feeling the smooth, cool wetness of the clay as it spun. She enjoyed the sensation of it yielding and transforming under her touch. She wasn't fighting it anymore. She was dancing with it. And to her own surprise, her work began to improve almost immediately. Without the tension and pressure, her hands were steady. The pots she created were more elegant, more organic, more alive. They weren't just technically perfect. They had a soul. Most importantly, the joy she thought she had lost came flooding back. Mira finally understood. True mastery wasn't about obsessing over a flawless final product. It was about being fully present, embracing the journey of creation, and allowing the process to unfold without the heavy burden of expectations. Biletingo, she didn't just find her skill again. She found that her creations became more beautiful and more meaningful than she had ever imagined. This story is such a powerful reminder for all of us, isn't it? Whether you're an artist, an athlete, a student, or just trying to get through a tough project at work, the lesson is the same. When we let go of our obsession with the outcome and learn to love the process, we not only reduce our stress, but we also open ourselves up to creating our best work. So next time you feel that pressure to be perfect, take a breath and just focus on the step you're taking right now. Enjoy the journey. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. If this story resonated with you, I'd be so grateful if you'd hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more stories to inspire your journey. Until next time, take care and be present.